Okay, so the goal of this video is to show you some drawings and models of cell parts and organelles. So on the screen now are 4 cell diagrams. They're all unlabeled. Okay, we have plant cells and animal cells, so a mixture of both. First and foremost, something that all of them have in common is in the middle of them, they have a big, kind of dense, round circle. Okay, all of them. Big, dense, round circle. Okay? And that big, dense, round circle is the nucleus. Okay? The nucleus is very important. When you look at a cell under a microscope, the nucleus will most likely be visible. The nucleus contains the cell's DNA, and the nucleus is also responsible parts of DNA replication and protein production. Parts of it happen in the nucleus and need the nucleus. So the nucleus is a very important part of the cell. It also controls all the main functions of the cell, so the nucleus kind of leads the cell. Okay, so all cells, whether they're animal or plant, have a nucleus. Okay, so this is my drawing of an animal cell. You can tell that because animal cells are usually round or oblong, and plant cells are more rectangular or shaped with more rigid sides. I've drawn my nucleus, and now the next organelle that you will see inside a cell is kind of bean-shaped. Oh, my bad there, I didn't want to do that. It's bean-shaped. Okay. And your cell might have multiples of them. Okay, and then they kind of have this little squiggly line in there like that. Okay, so it's bean-shaped with this squiggly line, and this is called the mitochondria. Mitochondria. Okay, the mitochondria is a very important organelle. Okay, it's commonly nicknamed the powerhouse of the cell. Okay, it can convert stored energy from food into energy that the cells can use to function. So we eat food, our body stores that energy from our food, and the mitochondria now can use that food energy and turn it into energy our body can use. So the mitochondria is very important. Helps us with energy, okay, converting food energy into usable energy. Okay, so this cell has a new part on it right here. If you look kind of around the nucleus, there are these folds, okay, these kind of like folded looking organelles, okay, and that is called the endoplasmic reticulum, okay, endoplasmic reticulum. It's also, just for short, called the ER, okay. The endoplasmic reticulum is important because sometimes the endoplasmic reticulum looks like this, and that's called smooth ER. Sometimes the endoplasmic reticulum, though, has little dots on it, okay, and these dots are important, okay, and when you put a bunch of dots on the ER, then they call it rough ER, okay, and so the ER's job is to give the ribosomes a place to attach. So these red dots are called ribosomes, and their function is to make proteins. So the ribosomes, the little dots, make proteins, and the endoplasmic reticulum, which is kind of that black folded pancake looking organelle, helps give the ribosomes a place to make proteins. Okay, another organelle is very simply shaped. They're usually found in just circles within the cell. Okay, and this new organelle is called a lysosome. Okay, lyse means to cut. Okay, so lysosomes cut up and get rid of cell waste. So small little circle, get rid of cell waste. Okay, some additional organelles. The endoplasmic reticulum, remember, is usually wrapped around the nucleus, and then another kind of pancake-shaped organelle, and it, kind of shaped like this, just kind of, I call them stacks of little pancakes, okay? And it's usually separate from the nucleus. This is called the Golgi apparatus. Okay, Golgi apparatus. And the Golgi is responsible for packaging up and kind of shipping things around the cell or inside and out of the cell. So if the cell has a protein that it needs to move, the Golgi apparatus will package that up and ship it around the cell. And what they'll package it up in is they'll package it in something called a vacuole. A vacuole, very similar shaped to a lysosome. A vacuole can simply take something, like we said, maybe a ribosome needs to be shipped around the cell, and they would put some ribosomes in that vacuole, and now that vacuole could exit the cell if it wanted to and go communicate with another cell. Another piece of the cell is the cytoplasm. So within this entire drawing, there is, you want to imagine, okay, that within this whole thing, okay, it's not empty space, it's this gelatin-like material, okay, and it's called the cytoplasm. And this gelatin material surrounds everything. It's kind of this gooey ooze, okay? And the cytoplasm is very important because it fills up the whole cell within and kind of provides kind of a solution for everything to live in, okay? Okay, let's review. First here, we have the nucleus of the cell, kind of the control center of the cell. Around the nucleus, we have the endoplasmic reticulum, and on the endoplasmic reticulum, we find little dotted ribosomes. Ribosomes make proteins. Anything that is bean-shaped and kind of has this squiggle in there is the mitochondria. Okay, mitochondria helps with giving the cell energy. Then we have the lysosomes. They cut up and get rid of waste. Next is the Golgi apparatus. That packages cell parts and really any nutrients and sends them around the cell in vacuoles. Okay, so there's a little review of how far we've come. Next we're going to talk about the outer part of the cell right here, and it goes all the way around, is the cell membrane. The cell membrane controls what goes in and what comes out of the cell. It's kind of like a gatekeeper. It has little, it's permeable. Things can pass in and out of it. It allows certain things to enter the cell and keeps other things out of the cell. So the cell membrane goes all the way around the cell. Okay, kind of holds all the cytoplasm. Remember, the cytoplasm is all the gooey stuff in the middle, holds it all together. So these organelles are only found in plant cells, only in plants. And what I've drawn here already for you is a cell wall, okay? The cell wall is very rigid, okay? And in plant cells, the cells stack up next to each other, and the cell wall provides support. Within the cell wall, though, the plant cell still has a cell membrane that goes on the inside of the cell wall. Okay, so it still has a cell membrane, still has a nucleus, still has an endoplasmic reticulum that goes around the outside of the nucleus, still has a Golgi apparatus, still has mitochondria. A plant cell, instead of having many small vacuoles, they have one large central vacuole. Okay? And inside that central vacuole, they store food, but especially water, H2O. Okay? And the last part that all plant cells have is they have an organelle called a chloroplast. Who doesn't love a school bell? So the chloroplasts, they are green. That's what gives plants their green color, are these chloroplasts. And the chloroplasts are very important to plant cells because that is where photosynthesis takes place. Okay, so these green organelles help the plant make its own food.